This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's talk a little bit about Bert Prentice. He is going to be the guy you call and sort of hit the panic button on. The Observer would say advance tickets for the debut in Huntsville are poor. They still had third row ringside available as of this weekend, which probably means less than 300 tickets have been sold for a 7,000 plus seat building. Little question, they'll be forced to heavily paper the week before the show. And you've told me off air that you had Bert Prentice lead up what at the time was a pretty common thing known as the street team. I want to talk about Bert and what the street team was, but I also want to just dig into your brain for a minute. You've invested, as we've said several times, even on this show, everything into this idea. And obviously you're delusionally optimistic, I think is the word you used before. 300 tickets sold in a 7,000 seater. How do you maintain your positive mental attitude that we know, like, and now love here on the show? How can you be positive in the face of, well, we'd like to sell 7,000. We sold 300.
Experience, Conrad. I have done on sales in 94 and 95 for the WWF, and been a part of some disastrous. I remember one time at Pittsburgh, that would have been, I don't know, April, May, maybe if you've got your Google handy. Was SummerSlam in Pittsburgh in 95? For some reason, this rings a bell, but I can remember doing an on sale and with the live radio remote.
It was, by the way.
It was, right?
Yeah.
I did the on sale. That's why it popped in my brain. So I'm giving you, wow, what recall? That's off. But you know, I've been a part of on sales with two PR agency, a PR team, multiple radio stations on a Friday morning and a Friday afternoon, newspaper clippings. I mean, really blowing it all out and get to an on sale and there's 100 people, you know. And then the last year of WCW, little context here, Elliot Mernick, remember him, promoter WCW?
Yep.
In 96, I was one of those guys. Hey, Jeff will do it. So I've done a lot of on sales when Nitro and Thunder were red hot. I have been scheduled for multiple on sales during that era. And then all of a sudden I get a call. Hey, we're canceling it. It's going to go clean. Huh? No need for an on sale. So when the business is hot, it's hot. And when it's not, no matter what you do. So I guess I'll say through my lifetime of experience leading up to 2002, coming out of the gate not hot is not the end of the world. It's just not. Is it good news? Hell no, it's not good news. Enter a local promoter and a street team and all that. And, you know, dealing with Monterey Peninsula, the booking agency, this was new uncharted territory for them to a certain degree, because routing music tours and the process they do, that, you know, a guy will be an opening act and then a mid card, even in the music business, and then a headline, you know, a feature, whatever you want to call it. And they go from a bar tour to a theater tour, from a theater tour to an arena, and, you know, the arena, some folks even get to do stadiums. So building our way up, I knew coming out of the gate, I'll say it didn't shock me. Like I said, it didn't make me happy. But look, you got to roll up your sleeves and dive in. That's the nature of a promoter's mindset. Again, maybe a little delusional, optimistic, but that's what I signed up for.
Tell me about the street team. What were you, when you called Bert and he said, hey man, I need you to get to Huntsville, put together a street team, break down exactly what you hoped Bert was going to do.
But Bert's a independent wrestling promoter. And you know, they're hustlers. They know how to create a little buzz. And this is, again, before social media. So it's a different mindset when you got to poster a town or put handbills on towns. And when you know, it's something I've done my whole life. You know, you go into a town and like Huntsville, and you could probably name places, but you look for high traffic areas, whether it's downtown or, you know, malls on a Saturday afternoon, or find out where there's going to be a radio remote or whatever it is. You sort of have to get into the DNA of the community, go to ballparks. I can remember, that's another thing when you're going into a town on Saturday, people that have kids and families, they're not at their house. They're either at the soccer field or the softball field or the baseball diamond. Get into there. And if you have, those days, go to Kinko's, get you 10,000 handbills. And the handbill, people don't know. You know what a handbill is, Conrad?
Yeah.
Terminology. I'm making sure that it's just something, it's a small poster, class poster, and hand them out and get them in people's hands. And we had a street team go all over, in a 60-mile radius of Huntsville, it's a way where you don't have to buy advertising. You get a street team and they advertise for you. That.
Speaking of other things you did, Jim Barnett is offered a job by your father to come on board. We sort of teased this in the creation story where he had lunch with Barnett and your dad really respected him. And because he had such a legacy in the business, he wanted to, offer Jim a tribute, if you will. And maybe he can work on a consulting basis or whatever. But Barnett lets your dad know, I've already accepted a job with WWE. So Barnett, in typical Barnett fashion, leverages one side against another, gets a better deal with Vince. Are you disappointed? Is your dad disappointed? Because your dad held Jim in high regard.
Oh, Conrad. Tell me this. What would his role have been in TNA?
Cashing a check.
Okay. I wasn't up for that. And I honestly don't think my father was really up for, and I'm not even sure he offered him a job. But in 2004, when he wrote this book, it sure sounds sexy. Hey, we offered Jim a job, but he went to Vince. I don't buy it. I never had one conversation about hiring Jim Barnett. Not one.
A couple other things we should run through, or names we should run through that we haven't brought up. Stanley Shanker. You want to add any context to him?
And I'm not sure why you're mentioning Stanley's name in the startup.
He's in your dad's book. He's just mentioned.
Okay. But that's okay. He's a licensee agent that used to work for WWE, or at that time, the WWF. He was a licensing agent. And I might have had some preliminary conversations, but I knew that you have to get up and running at least a little bit to even start to even formulate a pitch to create licensing.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.